Hello and welcome to a very special episode on FanBall Meet today. And it's a pleasure for me to invite Kunal Ajmani, known as FC Breakdown. He is a content creator for EAFC mostly, but an avid football fan. He has, of course, reached greater heights when it comes to the EAFC content and has about almost 40K subs on YouTube. Pleasure to have you on the podcast today, Kunal.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Look, my new pleasure is all mine. And thank you for calling me out here on your podcast. It's a good opportunity for both of us, to get our story out and tell people about what is happening in the scene.
Yeah, absolutely. The reason why we started Fanball Meet was to have creators like yourself share their journey. And I think I never actually sat down to speak to you in all these years we've known each other. So obviously, it's going to be something fantastic, and hopefully, a lot of people will get to learn quite a lot about your journey and how to basically start getting into the content space if they want to. So, Kunal, my first question, right, straight up, is going to be something. I don't know if people have asked you this before or not. Everyone knows you as FC Breakdown, right, on YouTube. But if it was outside YouTube, right, how is Kunal Ajmani as a person?
Very shy and introvert. And I don't know, it is visible on my streams as well. Some people do realize that, but a lot of people maybe who don't know, yeah, I'm a very low key person in real life. So that's how I would describe myself.
I've always seen you quite non-animated as well in situations. Sometimes you're pretty non-animated, but yeah, I think the nonchalant word is probably what we can sort of give it to you outside of YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, like, we've met in person in Delhi also. I don't know if you got that vibe from me, whether I am someone who's shy or whether who shows up as a very, social person, because I'm really not. Like, I have like three friends in real life where I'm just chilling with them outside of my stream. And yeah, I'm very, very mellow when it comes to real life. I'm not someone who's very out there.
So I think basically the message for people who are watching, who are your fans, your subscribers, basically for you guys to get into the Kunal's top three list of friends, you will have to really buy a different subscription or join the channel in a different way to get to know Kunal Ajmani outside of YouTube. But no, I love that. I love that. But I that brings me to asking you something I've always wanted to ask you, because I've only seen you on YouTube, only met you in person once. But if someone had to describe your personality in three words, like what would they be?
First thing that again comes to my mind is introvert. I am literally that. And other than that, maybe I don't know, probably observant. I do tend to talk less and observe more, listen more to everyone around me. I'm not the loudest person in the room when it comes to being outside, and usually I'm the quiet one. So that's how I would say I would describe myself outside of YouTube.
That's fantastic. I think the third one we can go with nonchalant is what I've observed about you. So probably those three. No, that's great. I think that's honestly something that a lot of creators have. So I think that's definitely a characteristic or a trait that maybe, content creators should have to learn and observe and learn a lot of new things from other people as well.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of YouTubers in general are quite shy, because I mean, we all our lives we just sit in a room and record ourselves all day. That doesn't make us very outgoing, to be honest. And if you go out, we are not like how, like, content creators are not like movie stars where they have to socialize all the time outside. They have to, I mean, sure, there are events where they have to show up and promote stuff, but at the same time, I think personally, they all have started this because they don't want to do the traditional 9 to 5, and they don't want to be that social animal outside of their comfort zone, and rather they would just sit in a room, record themselves, and connect with like-minded people who can understand their personality as well. And I've seen that a lot with my audience as well. I feel like I literally have a mirror audience where I look at them as myself, and they look at me as themselves, because they relate to me in a way, like in a deeper way than just a screen, just a person sitting in front of the screen.
Hmm. That's fantastic, really. I think now that you mentioned that it's like basically the audience is sort of mirroring you and they understand that you're connecting with them in a deeper way. But what's that one thing that your audience would be surprised to know about you than probably nobody does up until, say, let's just say this podcast?
I think it's the language. They've only seen me speak in English, but in real life, I speak in Hindi and Punjabi more, way more than I do in English. So that's one thing because my channel is completely in English language. In real life, I barely speak in English. Not barely, but I definitely use other languages more. So that would be surprising for some.
Yeah, but then I think that brings me to a point where I will have to ask you to say something in Hindi to the audience who is not from India and who don't understand Hindi even within India, for you to say something really nice about your audience, maybe just like a one-liner to all your subscribers and people who watch you every day.
You're putting me on the spot here now, बट हाँ, जो भी मुझे इंडिया के बाहर से देख रहे हैं, मैं तुमसे बहुत ज़्यादा प्यार करता हूँ और सिर्फ़ इंडिया के बाहर से नहीं, सारे इंडियंस को भी बहुत प्यार करता हूँ और हाँ, मुझे हिंदी आती है। कोई-कोई लोगों को लगता है मुझे हिंदी बिल्कुल भी नहीं आती है, लेकिन हिंदी मेरी लैंग्वेज है। हिंदी और पंजाबी मेरी मेन लैंग्वेजेज़ है। इंग्लिश इनफैक्ट मेरी थर्ड लैंग्वेज है।
Great introduction as well. And I think for everyone watching, you are getting to see the other side of Kunal Ajmani. Obviously, the FC breakdown is not just FC breakdown. He's actually a very chill person outside of that. So you're getting quite the insight from him now. But now brings me to the journey of you, FC breakdown. From Kunal Ajmani to going to FC breakdown, how did your journey in the content creation space start?
I think this was in December 2021 where I was working. I had a job in marketing and I was also doing my post graduation that time in international business. So I was juggling between these two things. I was doing a 9 to 5. I was also studying. And then I just had, like, I had quit my job that time in December because it was getting a little hectic for me. And there were a few things going on in my life that time. So I quit that, and the reason behind quitting it was to just focus on my course, which was getting over in the next 6 months. So while I was studying, I thought, meanwhile, I mean, I play FIFA all the time, so thought why not just maybe start posting a few stuff, a few clips on YouTube. There's no harm; it's free. There's literally no downside to posting something which you're already doing. So that's how it started. I posted my first video on YouTube while I was studying, and it was completely like there was no plan of getting into it full time.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I think that's been the journey for a lot of people. I know so many creators who've had like, full-time corporate jobs, or they've been students of like masters, undergrad, and they've just started recording. And I think that's something, a lesson for everyone who believes in themselves and the content that they can make. I think this is how you should start. Just upload one video and there's just no going back. And look at you now, you're streaming every day. You have a massive
Yeah.
fan following from different parts of the world. And I think that's all that matters. But like, when did you realize, okay, now this is one thing where you start making content, you felt good about posting, but when did you think about taking this seriously? When did you think that, okay, this is going to be me doing most of this content and live streaming pretty seriously and sort of pushing other things aside?
That happened after my one of my videos got good views because initially I was just posting for the heck of it. Like I had no intention of, making this a full-time thing. But then slowly I started noticing one video get 2000 views, then 5000 views, then one of them got 10, 15,000 views. And that's when I thought, okay, something is happening here. Something's like things look like they could be turned into something different, and that these things can be monetized. It's not just for fun anymore. Like I can do this seriously.
Yeah, so basically that we are about to cook kind of caption that sort of came into your head that, yeah, I'm going to start. I know you're a very humble person. I can say that while taking your podcast because if someone also talks about me this way, you've done this, you've done that, I always tend to sort of make a joke about it or just laugh it off. So that's another important thing about a creator who's down to earth and pretty humble. No, love that, love that.
Yeah.
But I think my assumption is going to be right because I know you a little bit outside of YouTube as well, but I'm still going to ask this, that what motivated you actually to do this in EAFC and not any other game title? We haven't really seen you do much of, I mean, your channel literally says FC Breakdown and it was
Yeah.
FIFA Breakdown earlier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why just EAFC? Is it just because you're a massive football fan or is it some specific reason?
It was because of that. Football has been a big part of my life ever since childhood, and FIFA as well has been a big part of my life. I have been playing this game since like FIFA 07, maybe even FIFA 05. So it was always there. Like the signs were there for me to get into this. And then again, clips. I started uploading FIFA clips because I was again active at the time in Ultimate Team, and I thought of it that way only, that okay, if I'm playing this game every day, why not just post? So that was the only reason why I got into FIFA, because that's the game I've played all my life.
That's fantastic. No, I mean, I think that's very important. Like where the passion originates from, how you sort of like get that passion to convert into a profession. I think that's also very important. And unless you love what you do, it's not obviously easy for a lot of people to convert their passion into a profession. But you did that, set an example, told so many people about your journey and how you go about things. People start coming to your YouTube channel. So I think that's very important because you still have the passion, and we'll talk more about it, about the game in detail at a later stage. But this is pretty impressive. I absolutely love that. That brings me to a question though. What was that one viral moment where you thought, okay, I am FC Breakdown and I'm one of the top creators in India and maybe like Southeast Asia for FC? Because the market is very, like, I don't want to use the word market. The space of creators for FC in the world is pretty high, but especially for Asia and India, it's pretty less. So what made you viral? What made you think that you got to that level where you are right now?
I think it was the views I was getting on my live streams. Now, like you said, this game is not getting you views like some creator who plays BGMI or the mega viral games in India. But when I started streaming initially, obviously there was no traction. But after a point, I started getting good views, and then there was, I believe, companion app had dropped off FIFA 23, and that time I had gone live that night, and I touched about 400 or 450 watching. So that was probably my viral moment, first viral moment, where I thought, okay, yeah, things are finally, there's a big, you see those graphs where it's going like this, and then suddenly there's a boop. So that was my probably the first viral moment on live stream, where I hit like 400 plus watching.
That's insane. And
Yeah.
if that moment did not happen, would you still be doing this today? Would you still continue to work on your channel, or would you just think that, okay, maybe this is not for me?
I would, because I was consistently getting like 100 plus watching. It wasn't 400 quite there, but 100 plus was there, and I was steadily building up. So these type of moments, they come in waves. Some of them, like suddenly you get a big push on one of the streams, and then you're back down to 100 watching, 150 watching. So yeah, I would have done this. To answer your question, I think I would have still continued building my channel, because again, YouTube is not a very short term game, or not about virality as much as it is about consistency and having that core base set, where the foundation is so strong that even on your bad days you are still getting a lot of people to come and join you.
Yeah, I think I should pull my notebook out to write this so that I don't forget. It's more about consistency rather than trying to go viral, what we see
Yeah.
mostly with Instagram creators. And I don't think so. I think it's just a different approach that you have for long form content, live streams, and then you sort of like
Yeah.
put that out on Instagram. So like for someone who's watching, I think it's mostly about having multiple platforms where you can monetize it from. And obviously that comes pretty late in the stages, but obviously you have to keep posting and be consistent.
Like this whole thing of getting that luck also your way, it only happens when you show up. Like luck shows up when, if you're present in that moment. And I think if people don't put themselves out there, you will never get lucky. To get lucky, you have to get out and put yourself in that position.
Absolutely. So true. People need that motivation, and a lot of people unfortunately lack it due to a lot of different reasons. But I genuinely feel that once you are in the right headspace, you're motivated, then sky is the limit for you if you believe in your content and people are actually enjoying it. But that's great. Now, I think for specifically is a topic that interests the both of us because our backgrounds is EAFC and formerly called FIFA, and especially for your core audience, right? Since when have you been playing Ultimate Team? I think that's a question every creator, every pro player gets somewhere down the line on their streams or in public or whatever. But I never really asked you this question before.
Yeah, I've been playing since FIFA 17. That was my first Ultimate Team. I think it might be a little late. Like some people might hear that and think, oh, he joined so late. But yeah, FIFA 17 was the first experience I had with Ultimate Team. What about you? Have you been, since you've been a pro, what was your first Ultimate Team? Because I even know a lot of pros who have started much later than me, but they've only needed 2 or 3 years to get super good at it. So when did you start? I hope it was before 17.
No, actually not. I started
Oh
after
wow. So there
you.
you
So
go.
my
So I had
yeah.
no idea about this.
Yeah, my first Ultimate Team was actually FIFA 18 because EA wasn't eligible. Like India wasn't eligible in all these EA tournaments that used to happen globally. And even as aspiring pro players, I was really young back then. And FIFA 17, I mean, it's been a long time. It's been what 8 years now since
Yeah.
FIFA 17 for me. So it's been a very long time. And I think I when I started in FIFA 18, I quite did not understand. Like I made my account in 2016. That's where it says
Mm.
established 2016.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
never actually played it because I used to focus on offline tournaments that used to happen within India because we used to just play on kickoff, and those were the
Mm.
tournaments that giving us the so-called prize money back then, which was obviously not a lot, but that's how the scene started off. But I think yeah, FIFA 18, and I really think for anyone who's watching as well, and you will agree with me on this, that starting Ultimate Team late, obviously we have missed out on quite a lot of good things as well when it comes to what Ultimate
Yeah.
Team had to offer before that. But I still feel it doesn't really matter as long as you understand it very quickly and you get hooked to it. Then the content side comes in, the passion comes in, the grind comes in, where you used to do Road to Glory and stuff. I think all those things just eventually
Yeah.
seep into it, right? But talking about FIFA 17, FIFA 18, I think I am already answered the question that I'm about to ask you, but which has been your favorite FIFA title of all time? I'm not even going to mention the word EAFC because I'm pretty sure it's not that.
Yeah, no, and no, you'll be surprised, but it's actually my probably the childhood games. It's FIFA 07 for me, bro. Playing that game, having Ronaldinho on the cover, and I think it was Messi. Then 2008 was Rooney and Ronaldinho. But yeah, those are the games like FIFA 07, FIFA 08. Those nostalgic games are definitely the ones. What about you? When did you start playing? I
I
still don't
think
know this.
I think my first FIFA was FIFA 2002, if I'm not wrong. I was only 6 years
Oh,
old back then. So that was my first
wow,
ever FIFA where Steve McManaman was there in the English national
wow,
team. So I still
that's crazy.
remember, yeah, all these people were there. And I think it was crazy, man. I think that's when I started when I was a kid. But yeah, I think properly when I started grinding the game was much later. I think it was around FIFA 13 is when I got hooked onto it and started playing it. So I think my favorite FIFA, but still to answer the question, as you said, FIFA 07, like OG, like there's no doubt about it. Mine
Yeah.
was I think FIFA 17, FIFA 18, I think one of the two, because
Oh.
I recently played FIFA 18 at a friend's house and the nostalgia was unreal. It was on PlayStation 4 and it was just insane. It was insane.
Yeah, I remember even like Ultimate Team, the reason why I fell in love with Ultimate Team was because of those FIFA 17, 18, where you had those baby icons, you had the main base icons, and I even forgot the terms now what they were, but there were basically three different type of icons. First one being the baby version with different hairstyles, different everything. So yeah, that takes me back always.
Yeah, there was base and then I think
Mid, I think it
Mid
was mid
mid
icons.
mid
Base,
icon
mid,
and
and
prime
prime,
icon.
prime.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Wow, it's just actually you've taken me back in time.
Hmm.
And I'm so glad we're doing this because yeah, it just takes you down, like you take a trip down the memory lane.
Yeah.
But talking about PlayStation now, I recently mentioned that I played on PlayStation 4. Now, what's
Mm.
been your journey when it comes to PlayStation? Because to be very honest with you, that's a console and that's like the PSP and the PlayStation 2 and everything that's been very close to our hearts right from the start. Which was your console? Which was your first game actually on which PlayStation? I'm really curious to know that.
It was PS2. I started with PS2, and so funny story actually. I was at a cousin's place in Mumbai and they had that. So it was more like a shiny toy I saw for the first time. I was like, "Wow, what is that?" Because you are so used to playing video games, right? The
Yeah.
OG one where you're playing Mario and you're playing all those games, and then suddenly you see this thing which blows your mind as a kid. I saw graphics which I've never seen in my life. Now, obviously, living in 2026, it makes you feel like that was nothing. But back then, when you first had your eyes on a game like FIFA 7 or Cricket 07, looked at it and you're like, wow, this is mind blowing. So that's how I got introduced. And then yeah, I just forced my parents to get me a PS after that, a PS2. And first game probably was SmackDown versus Raw 2007, FIFA 07,
Um.
Cricket 07. These games I have
Yeah.
been, yeah, these were my very first games, and PS2 was the console for me.
PS2 was the console. Yeah, again,
Yeah.
like I said, like too much nostalgia. SmackDown versus Raw was my first game actually. That's the reason why I bought the PS2. So quite a lot of similarities because I think we're pretty much the same age, couple of years apart. So I think obviously when it comes to the 90s kids, we've always lived and breathed PlayStation.
100%. And even for my summer holidays, like my parents used to take it away from me and then used to give me this candy where they are like, okay, you get good grades and you go to school every day. And then in the summer holidays for 2 months straight, you're
Yeah.
allowed to use this gadget.
I still remember like how parents used to, be like, "Don't play; it's not good for you." Typical. I mean, any parent, even if they love that you are so engaged into that, I still feel they always had this reluctancy of not letting you play. But we fought through it, and look at us now. Like I think that's why I need to acknowledge this, that PlayStation got us to where we are right now in terms of making our careers as well, which is fantastic. Like how can
Yeah,
a
yeah.
gaming console or a device can actually help you turn your passion into a career? It's honestly incredible now that I think of it.
A lot of things have come together. Firstly, PlayStation, then also internet, like internet era. I know we are getting
Yeah.
very barbaric here, but just having internet, having a camera, all these gadgets, all these electronics around you can literally change your life. It's crazy the world we live in.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think the evolution has been incredible. But now that brings me back to EAFC, Kunal. I think we were talking about Ultimate Team, and we have seen so many different promos come throughout so many years of us playing. I think it's almost FC 27 is going to be marking 10 years of you grinding Ultimate Team. That is a long time if
Yeah,
you think about it, right?
it
Now,
is.
which has been your favorite Ultimate Team promo ever, and why was that?
Oh man, there are so many. There are so many, but one that immediately hit my head was probably Winter Wildcard of I think it was introduced in FIFA 23. Before that, it was Footmas. I
Yeah.
don't remember the year where it got introduced, but yeah, it was the first Winter Wildcard tag, like the Winter Wildcard promo. It was hands down the most fun I've had. I think there was like Bellegarde in that promo, that French midfielder, and I can't remember players at the top of my head, but it has to be that. Mm.
100%. No, that's one of the best promos that been so popular and everyone loves. My favorite though was I think I'll have to say FIFA 20 FUT birthday Mbappe. That double five. Oh my
Yeah, yeah,
god, he
I've
was
heard
a
that a
menace.
lot on my streams as well. A lot
Yeah,
of people really did enjoy Footpathe from FIFA 20. It's been up there with the best promos. Even like when I think of it, even Halloween promos used to be really fun for me. They just used to come very early in the game, and some of the promos had like a 99 stat or some kind of boost, or there was always
yeah.
something attached to that promo where it's not a regular boost. There will be something crazy about some of the cards. Either they'll get a 99 stat or either they'll get 5-star skill move or weak foot early on. That used to be my like that is one of the favorite promos as well that I can think of.
Absolutely. And what about the favorite player though, all time in Ultimate Team? Why is that? Who's the player you will end up using every year actually? Like not specific to a game title, but that one player that you have always played throughout Ultimate Team.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him my favorite player, but for some reason, he's always in my team every year, and he's the most capped player at the end of the year. It's Theo Hernandez. I don't know how it happens, but somehow it happens. He just ends up being there for the longest time in my team. And each year I try not to be, a meta rat or whatever, but somehow I end up landing at Theo Hernandez and then he just never leaves my team. Crazy.
It's crazy actually. I think for a lot of Ultimate Team players, it's probably like someone like a Hullet, because there was an era where for like 5, 6 years, continuous years, probably more than that, Hullet and Vieira's pairing in Ultimate Team was like the dream team when you used to have. But yeah, that's a good shout, man. Theo Hernandez, I think I never really
Yeah.
thought about it. That left
Yeah,
back
and about
position.
Hullet and Vieira also, like you're a pro, so you have grown up with the concept of unlocked accounts, having these big players. But for a person running an RTG, for us, it's always either Mendy or Varane or Theo, these kind of players. It's those
Right.
gold rats which will stay in your team. This year it's Pina for a lot of people. So that way
Yeah.
Theo has been consistent for me over the years, always in my team.
Yeah, I know that's great, but it's crazy to think now how we went on from playing Kylian Mbappe. Let's just say, forget about Hullet and Vieira. You kind of made me look like a pay to win guy, man.
No.
I wish you didn't put it across like that. Of people like me who run an RTG. But yeah, that's something I had to do because I wanted to pursue a career in pro, and without having a
Yeah, of
decent
course.
team, there's no chance you're doing anything in
Yeah.
those online qualifiers against South Asians as well. But yeah, like I think it's crazy to think how we've moved on to Claudio Pina from the likes of Kylian Mbappe, who's been there every year. Like how one play style can entirely change a game. It's honestly incredible, and how people have
Yeah.
adapted to it. And they've loved Pina throughout this year.
Yeah, some would say love, some would say absolutely despise her. It's a mix. It depends on how good or bad you are at the game.
Yeah, no, 100%. But now talking about Pina and she's meta, are you a meta player or are you someone who likes to have a lot of fun and try new things on your streams?
As much as I would love to say the latter, but I am quite a meta rat myself because again, to be in elite division is not easy, man. You cannot. I mean, today only, if I have to talk about a live example, today on my stream I tried a different formation which is away from the meta, and I got absolutely smashed. So
Yeah, yeah.
I have to be a meta rat if I have to consistently get a few wins. I am not saying I'm very good at the game, but to be even half decent, you have to follow the meta.
That's true. That's true. I think for the YouTube thumbnail for this video, what we can do is have a huge rat in between, and we are hugging that and says "Meta Rats" talking about the game, something on
Yeah.
those lines. Because you have to be that, man. I mean, there's no other option for you to
Yeah.
actually get those wins. But that's great. I think it's fantastic to talk about how fun the game is, how your journey has been, and how the players you've used, promos, all of that is like the fun element of it, the grind side of it. But now
Mm.
let's talk about something that mostly the EAFC community, formerly called FIFA community in the world, has always had a problem with, and that is EA's way of making the game. Or there's
Mm.
something in the game that is somewhat a problem. So, what do you think that EA completely gets wrong every year? Like, even if they say they've fixed it, but still that's a problem, and that's something that needs to be addressed. And you're a creator, so I think you
Yeah.
voicing it out in a way obviously is very important for the community, no?
Yeah, it's the promos, dude. The 50 player promos. I have been pointing this out on my streams a lot, and for some reason, not a lot of creators have spoken about this or don't find this to be an issue. But for me personally, it's having 50 players in a single promo. I mean, if you remember the earlier days, it was 10 players, 12 players, 15 players max in a promo, but then at least 10 of the 15 were banging cards, and you would genuinely get excited seeing a special tunnel, and you would feel like jumping off your chair, or you would genuinely get that adrenaline rush that, oh, I'm about to pack something good. But nowadays, with 40 out of 50 players being almost behind the curve, you just don't get excited about it. You see a tunnel, a special tunnel, like, yeah, whatever, like it's gonna be another 10k discard cards. For me, that's the number one issue I really find with this game, and I've been consistent with it on my streams as well.
No, that's fair enough. I think very less people actually. I know you're taking the creators POV, which is great because you're talking about something which is within the ultimate team. But mostly from what I've heard, people always say something about the gameplay, right? You haven't mentioned that. Of course, I'm sure you must have concerns in terms of gameplay as well. But pointing this out is very important because this is where the fun element comes in, right? Not everyone
Yeah,
cares about the
exactly.
gameplay. I think people care to have fun on Ultimate Team when they
Yeah.
come there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about the menu grind as well, mostly for people.
Mm.
I don't think it's just the gameplay. And gameplay, funnily enough, in FC 26, I loved it at the start. Like, I had no issues with it. The things they mentioned before the game could come out, they actually delivered that, like lesser rebounds and less of these, whatever problems we faced in FC 25, like speed boost gone, green time shots gone, 40-yard trivelas gone. They actually delivered all that, and I was pretty optimistic. And I think most of the people were, whoever were playing this game, everyone was complimenting this game right from the start. That first week, I think people call it the golden period of FC 26, where they truly felt like you have done it, like they are back and they've crushed it with this game. But again, like, they changed that a lot with newer and newer patches that they keep
Yeah.
rolling out.
Yeah, but I think I still don't hate the game. Like a lot of people I've seen are talking quite a lot of, trash about the game. But in my
Mm.
opinion, because my role as a coach is also there when I'm like helping people get better at the game, my
Mm.
mentality has sort of shifted to adapt and like learn what's good about the game. And
Yeah.
implementing real life football logic is also something that you need to do in FC 26. Leave that aside for all these first time through balls or something that is pretty
Yeah.
unrealistic, like those corners where you just knock down the headers with a
Yeah.
player lock. I mean, all of
Yeah,
that
bro.
is like a guaranteed goal. If you remove all of that, the game isn't actually too bad. Maybe a lot of people might disagree with me, but I still feel I think it's the approach and EA hasn't really done a bad job compared to FC25. Never
Yeah,
really
yeah.
liked it as much. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. The gameplay for me this year, I've been telling that on my streams as well, was one of the best in the last decade, even. Like, I enjoyed the gameplay part of it throughout the year until the recent patch, which we can talk about later if you want. But yeah, before that, I think I had not much to complain about in terms of gameplay. And kickoffs at the start were a problem, minor issues which they ended up fixing in the patches. So overall, the gameplay was much better for me this year compared to previous years.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic, man. I think, yeah, that's the right approach. And I'm glad you agree because if a creator, I mean, I understand the frustration, I understand people voicing it out, but I used to make this mistake myself. I used to, lose my cool a lot. Some of it was, of course, for the stream and just trying to,
Mm.
get people to be all riled up and be like, yeah, like
Mm.
laughing on my rage, etc. But some of it was my mentality also that, yeah, I really don't enjoy playing it. But FC26 has not been the case. But that brings me to something that I really hope reaches EA. Like I'm saying this on camera. What
Yeah.
we're going to talk about is something I reaches to EA and at least for people to watch, whoever is a part of the EAFC community in the world, not just in India right now. Like if Kunal Ajmani, FC Breakdown, was to control EA, like at least the EAFC part of it, right? What would be the three changes you would make immediately in one day? That's all you have.
Wow. I think the first one, as I mentioned, and I've been consistent with it, is just cut off the extra players in the promo. Just keep every promo super exciting and like give us less players but quality. Quality over quantity for me would be the number one thing I would do in terms of promos. Like forget putting 50 cards, just put 10, but make sure they are banging and like at least
Oh,
7 of them are banging. And that will make people excited to log in, and that will even keep the value of other gold cards high in the market, because if you're not packing cards, if they are rare, then gold cards will by default be more purchased on the market, and by default the Mbappe's of the game won't be 300k in like 5 months of the game. They would still be in millions. So that will be the number one thing. The other one, the second one, like I mentioned, I would not give so many patches. Like if something's working, don't fix it.
yeah.
First week of the game, everyone was loving it. There was no need to, change the plan or just stick to it. When you're seeing the positivity in the community with the game, stick to it. I would definitely not give too many patches throughout the year and try to let the game breathe a little and let people be in sync with it. Because if you keep changing the game, if you keep giving patches, it's a completely new game. Like you get used to something and it's suddenly they are flipping it, they are making it into a completely new game, and then again you have to learn things all over again. So that would be another thing. And third, I don't know, dude. Like I'm trying to think, but these are the things that immediately hit me in the head, that these two things need to be fixed in the game. And probably a third could be community feedback, which they are already doing in a way. I would do it more like in a more aggressive way. I would actually be out there on Twitter, on Discord, reading comments about people, because if you go on their Twitter and all, also a lot of people have complaints about the game, and like I would be telling my team that, okay, you know what, this is our source of information, this is our feedback from the consumers, let's make our product consumer specific, let's give them the control, so that even if we bring those changes, we would see that people now they cannot complain about this because we've actually delivered something
Yeah,
good.
yeah. No, that
These would be
100%
the
makes
thing.
sense.
Yeah.
No, this is fantastic. I mean, those are great replies because I feel everything that you mentioned is to the point, and for EA that is actually fixable, right? Not to come out
Yeah.
with too many patches is easy. To remove these extra players is easy. Taking in the community feedback also, I also feel there's one thing that they do. One thing that they actually can do is to be able to have a feature in the game within Ultimate Team for a group of people. Like, for example, if it's just say 8 of us, all of us are friends, right? And
Hmm.
set up a mini tournament. I don't know if they have it right now, but all of you all can actually enter into a tournament. There will be a randomized bracket, and whoever wins
Hmm.
can actually get rewards. So if you finish second,
Hmm.
you'll probably be getting a jumbo rare players pack. But if you win the tournament, you'll
Hmm.
probably get 85 into 10. And these mini
Yeah.
tournaments can actually give you rewards. And I have always been wanting to say this to the EA devs, but never got the chance. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Maybe something like this comes up. Who knows? I think
No,
that
but
could actually.
they have live events now, which I really like. Like they've given us
Yeah.
Gauntlet and those tournaments only in that, which I think it has done well with the audience. Even they like it. So that concept which you're talking about. It's not with your friends, of course, like you're mentioning. And yeah, I do like getting, since you mentioned the friends part, I feel like that's a very interesting point which just struck my head right now, that there is no, apart from pro, like the pro clubs
Yeah.
thing, in Ultimate Team, there's not much to do when it comes to interacting with your friends. There's Rush, which is a hit and a miss kind of a mode where people are not really into it. There's no there's no tournament vibe or no competition in that, where it's division system, where you are in division 10 in Rush, and if you're playing with your squad, you can go all the way up to elite division in Rush. If they could bring that sort of a system, competitive system, like even in BGMI, like you can play a squad game and go all the way up to ace, conqueror, all of that. If they can do that with this game also, where you have four people together trying to push through an objective and trying to rank up, that could also hit hard, maybe.
That actually makes sense. Yeah, I think something that you can do with your friends as you can do in say Rush or Pro Clubs, that's probably something you can do with your ultimate team as well. Maybe like have a 2v2 where you can, win
Yeah.
such rewards in a 2v2 knockout format of 8 or 16
Yeah,
players.
like a duo or a squad, like
Yeah.
how BGMI has it, where 2v2, 4v4, and then
Yeah.
rank up in that system.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, that's fantastic. And I think we've spoken a lot about EFC now to sort of take you away from EFC and bring you back to why this all started is football.
Mm.
Now, I'm going to
Mm.
ask you the most obvious question, but I think your community would like to know. Maybe most of them already know. And I think the club that you support is the club that I support, but I'll let you say it.
Yeah, yeah, it's Man United, and I think everybody knows, because as much as I am a FIFA streamer, I am also a big football fan, and it reflects on the streams, because a lot of times we are just talking about football for 4 hours in my stream, and that's where I feel like that connection has also built with my audience, about like a big audience, because it's football for me, bro, and it's Man United. Yeah, I've been a fan of United only, just like you.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
think we both know the reason why we fell in love with the club as well. But who's been your favorite player of all time
Wayne
in United?
Rooney. Wayne
Wayne Rooney.
Rooney, yeah.
Yeah,
What
I
about
think I
you?
agree with you. I think I agree with you. I mean, I love Cristiano, of course. I love him,
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
love him to death. But Wayne Rooney just stood out for me, man. It's crazy
Mm.
how we are, in sync with a lot of things when it comes to the first FIFA title or the players.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think that's all I can say is ball knowledge.
Yeah.
I was gonna add a swear word
Even
in between that, but I don't know if that's gonna be approved on YouTube or not. But
yeah.
yeah, it's it's
Yeah.
it's basically ball knowledge, and I'm glad that we both are in sync for that. A lot of people might
Yeah.
agree to that
A
as
lot
well.
of Arsenal fans and City fans are watching and laughing at two of us losers, saying, yeah, look at them
Y-
saying ball knowledge in the last decade. It's us ruling the scene, and they're talking
Yeah.
about. But no, yeah, I think the OGs know what United used to be, and hopefully soon we'll be back there.
Yeah, I mean, we're already back. I mean, I don't think so. City fans should be saying anything right now. I mean, I don't like to publicly anyway talk about. You'll never see it on my Instagram stories that I'm bashing
Mm.
rival clubs, which a lot of people do,
Yeah.
and that's completely fine. But I think me celebrating my club to coming back to the third position now and actually
Yeah, yeah.
pushing for Champions League, I am so happy at this point of time. I can't even tell you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's good, man. I think the club is on a positive side of things after last season's disaster. This topic is endless. We can get into a football podcast altogether and not stop
All
talking.
together.
That's what happens
Yeah.
with me and football always. But yeah, to answer your initial question, it's yeah, United and
United
Wayne
through and through.
Rooney.
And I think one moment in football also that like gave you goosebumps, I think both of us also know because it's related to Wayne Rooney, if I was to say it.
Goosebumps, I've gotten it so many times in my life watching United, because we've played an exciting brand of football under Sir Alex, and 2007 2008 UCL final would be a goosebumps moment, where firstly Ronaldo missing that penalty, and then John Terry slipping, and we ending up winning the Champions League. That's one of the moments. And there's also one where I think we were playing Tottenham. I don't remember the year, but 2-0 up at Tottenham were 2-0 up at halftime, and we ended up coming back and winning 5-2 that game. Of course, then there's the Arsenal 8-1 as well, where Rooney scored two free kicks.
Mine is to the one that stood out was the overhead kick by Rooney against
Oh
City. I
yeah,
think
City 1-0
I
win. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was just unbelievable. What I always wanted to ask you, Kunal, that did you have a goal in mind that you're going to monetize this after a certain point? And what is your path right now with the channel? Like, where did you think that, okay, this is something that I can make money from and I can inspire others, and I have a certain goal to hit these many numbers, because those goals really help you to grow on a regular basis?
When I started, it was obviously to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. I think back then YouTube had this criteria where you have to hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. It's changed now. It's something like 500 subscribers and lesser hours, or I don't know what the criteria is now, but back then it was this. So the first milestone was to do that. And I did that in 3 months. I think I started properly streaming in March, and by June I was on 1,000 subscribers and got monetized. So that's the first big milestone which I can clearly remember that I hit. And
Yeah.
then after that, it just picked off naturally. And currently, yeah, I'm sitting at around, in fact, I'm just 40 subscribers away from 39K. So hopefully can do
Wow.
that soon. And yeah, the
I'm going
next.
to pause you there. I'm going to pause you
Mm,
there. I'm going to say
mm,
this to people who are watching. If you have not already,
yeah.
then you should, because what Kunal is doing is something incredible. Very less people are doing it. So, I mean, kudos to you, man. I really hope you
Thank
hit
you so
40
much.
and 50 very soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much. But yeah, 50K would be the next dream target, and then eventually 100K, and that bronze play button is the one I'm looking forward to in the upcoming years.
That's fantastic. No, you've done a very good job at doing this. So keep continuing to do that. So that brings me to the question, like, what's the best part about your channel? And what do you think is missing from your channel? I would like you to answer both, because that's quite an insight for the people
Hmm.
who watch you on a regular basis.
Best part, I would say, is the community. Like I mentioned at the start of this podcast that we're doing, that I feel like I see myself in my audience. It's we are so related to each other. Like any person who watches me will agree with this, I'm sure. But it's the audience that we sit and talk. It's like talking to a friend. It's like therapy for me every day. And when I get in that flow state of mind when I'm streaming, I don't know where time disappears, but 3 hours, 4 hours go into it, and I just walk out of it more energized than I was walking into it. So it's a positive energy and it's a community. I think that's the best part, without a doubt. Probably something that's lacking is the energy in me. As I said, I'm an introvert. I feel like I can put in more energy, but that again, I'm being the devil's advocate here when I say this energy thing. But maybe people have resonated with me because I am very authentic and I've kept it very real and not faked any reactions. Maybe that's what connected, or maybe that's my weakness, and if I show some more energy or show that hype, I might achieve success a lot sooner. That's my weakness, I would say.
That's a great answer, though. I think you're being honest, not just to yourself, but to your audience as well. And the fact that that's something you want to work on, because people do, of course, love you for what content you're putting, the way that you are, the way that you talk and present yourself. I think that's very important for a creator as well. But the fact that if you could just on tomorrow's stream just go ahead and be like, Punjabi aa gaye hoye.
Yeah,
So I think,
exactly. Yeah, that
yeah.
that masala people, and even sometimes people think that things are too positive. Like they like spice when I'm losing, raging, or someone is coming in the chat and writing bad shit about me, and then I have to by default I naturally react. I call that person out, and then that fight happens. That creates more audience for some reason. People like watching drama. So that's something that's missing 90% of the times because I've not been that guy. But during that 10%, I've seen the spike in views. I know how quickly the numbers could double if you're having a beef with someone.
Absolutely. No, you're 100% right. I think that's been the case with me as well when I was streaming, and I hope to get back very soon with my new setup, etc., because I have missed this energy. I've missed people coming from
Yeah.
across the world, and that's something you're living the dream, man, honestly, to go live for 5 6 hours every day and connect with people, forgetting about the time, as you said, walking out more
Yeah.
energized and feeling great about what you've done, putting in the hours. So, what do you think is more important for you, consistency or creativity? Is it like you have been consistent? I know that, but is it
Mm.
still consistency for you, or do you think you would like to be a bit more creative to grow your channel?
I think for someone starting out, consistency is the bigger thing. And after a point, creativity 100%. Because initially, you need to be consistent. Even if you post the most magical video in the world, you're not going to instantly hit 1 million views on that video. You have to keep putting in the reps. And initially consistency, no doubt. After a point, it has to be quality over quantity. After a point, that okay, I can't keep posting the same thing. Now I have to find a new way of getting, more clicks or something interesting, create a new IP in the game where nobody is doing that. Like Nepenthes did that with Draft to Glory. He created his own IP which went very viral after a point, and he had a separate channel for it after a point. And Boras is known for his Road to Glory and Acuna, and having things evolving around these things. So yeah,
Yeah.
after a point it comes down to creativity of what can keep you relevant.
That's actually true. All these big creators do that. Talking about all these creators now, right? This
Hmm.
was one of the most anticipated moments for me during this podcast, for me to ask you before I started this, was what's that one dream collaboration that you have in mind with, be it a YouTuber, be it an influencer, be it a celebrity? Who would that be for you to work with that person?
Wait, are you asking in terms of EFC or in general? Because in EFC, the answer is so clear. It's Boras. He's been my inspiration, and people know this on my stream how much I've been pro Boras over the years. And yeah, he's one dream collab for sure. I think I've mentioned this many times on my stream. It's him, bro. Boras.
Maybe we can make that happen. Maybe we can make that happen as
Yeah, I
early
think you know
as,
him personally. If I remember correctly, you have been in
yeah.
touch with him
I
and you
mean,
know maybe someday. But again, like I don't want to, yeah, and I never would go out of my way to ask for something that I don't deserve. So I wouldn't tell you, oh, hook me up with him or this. I know when the moment is right, I will myself get that opportunity. And this has been my mindset right from the start. I never go on, asking people, requesting people, oh, can I have this or can I have that? Because I know I'm not worthy of it till those people by default discover me. And it has happened with a lot of things on my streams. Like when I started initially, I used to look at a few people. I'm not going to name names, but I used to look at those streamers and think, wow, wish this guy knows me or wish I could reach his level. And then a few months later, the same guy was in my chat. And I was like, oh,
mm,
there he is. Like I used to talk about this guy being there. Like even
yeah,
Jambo, for example, I think you must know him.
I
He's
do. I
got
do.
like 100K subscribers. He had rated me once a few years ago, and in looking at his channel, I was like, oh, like I now he recognizes me. He's there in my chat. Where
Yeah.
for someone who was starting out could never think of it. Or there have been many names like this. Like even RK Reddy. RK Reddy has been in my chat. He's on what 2 million subscribers or something. So that is another thing which made me feel like okay. So when the time is right, people will look at you. So I'm sure Boras also someday might discover my channel if I'm worthy
No,
of it.
that's fantastic. That's a great approach, honestly. And why not? You're 100% worthy of it. And when I was saying earlier that we can make that happen, that's not because he's not exactly a friend. Like I've considered him an idol. I've
Mm,
had the wonderful opportunity to
mm,
meet him, to speak to him, and for him to ask me questions about India and what you guys are doing over there. It's not that I'm gonna make it happen. It's just that
yeah,
wishful thinking, right? We can make
yeah,
that happen as
yeah, yeah,
soon as possible, is what I meant. That
100%.
because the way that you're growing yourself and knowing the fact that okay, maybe he knows a couple of people who are making content from India, because his fan base from India is massive. He is being idealized by god knows how many people in the EAFC scene, and it's incredible to see. So what I meant to say was we
Yeah,
can make this happen very soon, because the minute there is something, some brand or some big event happening in India, that's where the collab is very easy. And I think this is
yeah,
why I will say this, that I'm in this space for a reason, and we will come down to
mm,
what I am also building. And the reason why we're here is
yeah,
because of the fact that the best creators from different parts of the world, even if they're idealizing each other, if they're friends, if they can actually make great content together, then why not? Imagine in India, there's an event happening where Boris Legend, Brandon Smith, Nepenthes,
yeah,
and all
yeah.
these two creators are coming. I think that's going to be the
Yeah,
dream.
and about Brandon Smith as well, like you mentioned, I did get a chance to collab with him at an event only, right? I did EISL season 3 casting, and there out of nowhere that opportunity came. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think events are a great way of connecting to people who you were dreaming about at some point, that I want to be in touch with this person, and that's one way of connecting everything and actually making it a reality.
Absolutely. I mean, who would have thought you would be India's number one EFC creator at this point of time, like sitting in, in your city and making content, and then being the number one YouTuber in India that way, at least for EFC hardcore, who's playing, at a
Yeah.
competitive level as well, because I've seen you try and compete in tournaments as well, which is not easy as a
Mm,
creator, because that's not your journey, but you're still doing
yeah.
it. So not a lot of people are doing that. So big kudos to you for
Yeah.
doing that. But I think that brings me to the question where why I am doing this with you today, and why, we need to make that ecosystem for creators, is for
Hmm.
you to sort of come together, and like how important community is for you. And that's where it comes in, like what we're doing at Fanball, me and my co-founder Akshata. We worked so hard to build Fanball Meet from, like ground zero, where we had no idea if the creators would even mingle up. But how important do you think are these offline community events, not just Fanball, other events as well, to sort of like, for creators to come together and learn from each other and educate other people as well?
Yeah, yeah, like exactly how we were discussing before, the importance. Like you can be an upcoming creator who would get a chance to meet someone you've dreamt of. So that way you get access to people and creators which you wouldn't otherwise without these events. You can't just go in their DMs and expect them to recognize you. Whereas if you meet them in person, you have that shot with them where you go network with them, actually show them that you're passionate about this thing, actually show that you are a person who wants to build something serious, and you can pitch them your story, and who knows, big things could happen from there. And I'm a live example. It happened with me with Brandon Smith. Like I never would have thought I would get to be in the same frame as him, but it happened because of an event which was taking place. So that's very important. And even for meeting your fans, connecting with them offline, in person, them getting to meet you, get to know you, that you how you are as a person behind the camera, even that is another important thing to build an offline community and connect harder with your and deeper with your audience.
That's so true. I think it's really important for all of us to do that as creators, or someone who's building a platform, community events, or making content and just idealizing people. I think you need to have that vision and the confidence to actually reach out to these people with your content and show that this is what I've done, these are the numbers, this is the community I've built. Why don't we collab? I think that's also
Yeah.
something you might want to say to your people who want to make content like you, to actually go out there and show yourself to people, and not just sit and wonder what if I was one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
100%.
it's really important. But that brings me to a question though. Like, I know it wasn't possible for you to make it to Fanball Bombay. And I remember personally inviting you for that. And I think you were occupied with something else. But from what you've seen, I honestly want, and I'm not saying this just because I want to hear about Fanball from you. No, I'm asking, what exactly do you think is why people would come to Fanball? If you were there as a creator, what would you expect from your side to have at Fanball Meet, at least from what you've seen on Instagram?
Probably the vibes, dude. Like, have a good vibe there, have people join for what they love, which is either football or even gaming, for example. Now, I don't know if you all are just doing FIFA or whether you all are planning to add more games, but it's
Yeah.
the basic core value that we have, which is doing something that we love. Go there, watch football, play football, connect with like-minded people who are also there for the same reasons. So I think that's what you guys are doing, and making that a reality, where you're just connecting the dots, where people want to go to such places, they want to have a chill time, but they don't know where exactly to look for these things, and y'all are building that platform for people to connect.
I really appreciate the feedback and for you to honestly say. And maybe, who knows, someone who's watching, maybe if we are, and especially for Kunal's followers, and for maybe we can bring him down to the Bengaluru event that is going to happen very soon. So hopefully we can take Kunal's time and get him off the stream for some time and bring him down in person for him to be a part of it. But no, now as we get closer towards this fantastic podcast that's been, I think I'm gonna get a little quick with you in terms of questions, which is why this is called the rapid fire. And this is one of my
Okay.
favorite parts, and something I'm doing after a very long time as part of the Fanball Meet X FC Breakdown podcast today. So I'm just going to ask you questions, and you just have to quickly reply to me. And yeah, let's just get into it. Yeah. Best FIFA ever.
FIFA 7.
All right. Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi, even though I'm a United fan.
Okay, that's great. Skill moves or tactics?
Tactics.
Smart guy for a reason. Weekend league or rivals?
Vegan League. I love sweating and raging.
Oh yeah, yes, I think that's an obvious answer. One player you absolutely hate facing. I don't want you to reveal the identity, but is there someone that you always come across and you've like sort of, it's sort of like your nemesis. It's if he's that a friend or something, you can obviously name that person. But if you
Yeah,
don't want to,
he's my mod actually, KJ. I've hated facing that guy. He's like this kid who's 18 years old, 17 years old, and he's
Kabir
absolutely
Jetli.
killing it. Yeah, Kabir Jetli KJ. Like he's absolutely balling for his age, and every time I face him, I'm like, no, bro, I can't sweat on that level.
Yeah, he's too good for his age. Even his younger brother
Yeah,
Aman is also pretty good, and both these
yeah,
guys are
yeah, yeah,
also playing these regular tournaments
yeah,
that are happening week in week out, and they're absolutely killing it
yeah,
over there.
yeah,
That's fantastic.
100%.
One creator you enjoy watching?
Boras,
Obvious
you know it.
answer. I
Yeah.
know it. Yeah, same for me. Pack luck rating out of 10. I think this is something your viewers would love to watch.
11 on 10 this year. I think
Wow.
if there's one thing I can't complain about this year, it's my pack luck because I've packed 5 team of the years already
My
this year.
God.
Yeah, and yeah, like every promo I do pack a banging card. So thank you if you're doing that on purpose. I mean, I'm glad. Yeah, that's one thing. 11 on
Yeah.
10.
Which is the best team of the year card that you packed?
Jarzinho, team of the year.
My God. That's
At 3.5
absolutely
million coins.
nuts. That's
When
nuts,
I
man.
packed him, he was 6 million.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So, all right, up to the next one. Now, EFC is pay to win. Agree or disagree? Just one word.
Disagree. And I don't want to leave it at one word because, again, like people would misinterpret it. I'm not saying it's not useful to pay and get a better squad, but with evolutions and with, all these million different ways you can build your squad, especially with play styles being meta, I think it's not pay to win this year.
Makes sense. Do you think the Indian EFC scene is underrated compared to the global standards?
No, I think it's underwhelming, but not underrated. I think we lack an audience, but again, we have to create that space, and hopefully, me and you and more streamers around can do that. It's not underrated, but yeah, definitely we need to work on making people more aware of this scene.
Absolutely. Do you think the content creators care more about the views than the gameplay?
It depends on which content creator. For me personally, it's I care about more about gameplay because again, like I said, it's my weakness. I don't react, I don't overreact, I don't do things for the views. Maybe that's a weakness you can say, and maybe I should do those things. But for me, it's gameplay over views at the moment.
That's fantastic. Gave a very safe answer, but I think that's how you feel in general anyway.
Yeah, no, 100. No, I'm not giving a safe answer. I'm saying doing those things could get you more views, and maybe it's a weak. That's why I'm openly criticizing myself also. It is a weakness that I am not centric, and no, it's not me being safe. I can tell you that I'm being honest.
I was just
Yeah.
pulling your leg, bro. Don't worry about it. Okay, now comes one of the last fun elements of this podcast. Now, I want you to build your ultimate 11. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, I want you to pick from the goalkeeper position. You can tell me the formation right now. Don't overthink. Just say one by one. You don't have to name the version of the player or anything. Just name
Okay.
the player onto the position you want to keep. Just let me know about the formation you'd like to keep for now.
Okay, so 4-4-1-1 would be the formation for me this year. And players I would honestly not pick based on who have been my favorite, but I would say based on who have really been crazy long term this year. So Vicario would be in goal, season pass Vicario. Left back would probably be Theo Hernandez for me, any Evo of him, and you're sorted. Right back, I've not had good luck with it, but probably Lorente this year. CB, one of them left centre back has to be Van de Ven, that insane pace. The other one could literally be any evolution, but if I have to pick one right now, it's Oosterwolde for me.
Oh, he's too good.
Footpote, yeah. Midfielders, one of them has to be Vieira. He's insane with his Evo as well right now. The other CM, Sager Totti, has been one of my favorites this year. She's amazing. At Cam, I would go with Bruno, Fantasy FC Bruno. As I mean, come on, as a United fan, you can't not pick Bruno. Left mid, Shillin knockout royalty. Right mid, probably Saint Max Footpate at the moment, and striker R9 for me. A lot of people would say Pina based on popularity, but R9 for fun and for the vibes.
Oh, that's a great 11, actually. That's pretty a mix of meta and fun as well. And
Yeah.
sort of to run back the old days when you mentioned Vieira, because a lot of people don't consider Vieira in their teams, even though he's still pretty good. I think that's just like personal preference now. But it's not like
Yeah.
Vieira was like the player for so many years. It's not the case, which is something I really love about FC 26 as well. No, that's great. I think that's fantastic. That's a very good team, and probably, if you were to sort of face that against someone with the best versions of it, I think you'll enjoy it more than anything, more than having all those unlocked accounts, probably, because this is what you made on your own, right? And I think
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
matters. No,
yeah.
but great. And I think it's been fantastic, Kunal. I think it's been a great podcast to record this with you. Of course, I would,
Yeah,
before
likewise.
we go, I would like you to end this podcast on a very strong note, and that is going to me be asking a very obvious question, but something that I want your community and the people watching, anyone watching this video, is that one message that you would like to give to your community who's watching this right now?
I'd probably just say keep being there. Like y'all are the reason why I am doing this, and y'all have changed my life literally. And I hope it can carry on like that. And I love you guys a lot in Hindi. Maybe in future I'll start talking in Hindi and connect with more and more audience from India. But whoever watches me daily, just know that I appreciate each and every one of you. That would be my message to them.
One last question though. Now, for people who are watching this and they want to be you, what is that one message you want to say to someone who's scared of making content? What is it that they should be doing immediately to get rid of that fear and be out there and believe in themselves?
I think just put a camera in your face and start talking. That's what I did. I have recordings of myself in my phone where I am even shaking while talking because I'm so underconfident and shy. I think a lot of people have that camera fear. But trust me, if as an introvert, if I can get close to 40,000 subscribers right now, I think anyone can. Literally just be yourself, talk to the camera. There are so many ways in the world right now to make money online. Just get out there. You all have phones. Just start recording and start posting.
Yeah, no,
That's all. Yeah.
that's a great message, man. To be honest, what you said impressed me a lot. And now that I've gotten to know you a lot better, outside of us meeting a couple of times, is how you said that my audience is my mirror, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they do. Like, even if they are introverts, even if they are,
Yeah.
scared of sort of going out, they're talking to you and you are their friend and you're doing the same thing with them. I think that's fantastic because you don't need friends who like to go out partying every weekend. To be very frank with everyone watching, you
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
want that. You can be friends with someone who actually does what you love to do and be in that safe space actually while doing
Yeah.
what you love.
Yeah, and I've had like people come up to me in the chat and say that, I injured my hand and I'm bedridden now for the next few months, but at least I have you. I can watch you on a daily basis. Yeah, so that's the best part about it, bro. Like even for streaming, it's always like those type of messages
Yeah.
take you a long way. Like that's what people do it for. I feel like that's what I do it for. When I see such heartwarming messages from people that they are resonating with me, I'm their daily source of, entertainment, happiness. It goes a long way.
That's fantastic. And much love to this specific person who said this on Kunal's chat.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah,
beautiful,
definitely.
man. It's
Yeah,
beautiful. Kunal, great, great podcast. Honestly, I absolutely love this, getting to know you a lot better than just watching your streams. And a lot of people have different perceptions of people as well. If that person is going to be very shy, is not going to talk, or maybe success has got to him, all these things people think. But when they actually get to know you, there's like a deep dive behind the scenes. That's when they realize the actual image, like how Ronaldo also says, like, you have to
yeah,
get to know me to not hate me like you do, right? So
absolutely, man.
that's definitely there. Great stuff, Kunal. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
giving us
Yeah.
the time, and it's a pleasure. Any closing thoughts before we end this?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to thank you for having this podcast with me. And I think hopefully you can do more such things in the future. It's really fun just sitting here talking,
Yeah,
getting some stuff out of your chest as well, because you, as a streamer, you just sit and you're by yourself. And sometimes it does get very lonely just doing it alone all the time. So it's good to have company at times and, just rediscuss these things about your past and how you started doing and remembering the whole purpose behind this of why you do such things and for whom you do such things. So thank you so much for having me, Lokmanyu, and yeah, all the best to you and to your fan ball event that you're creating. I hope
Yeah.
it reaches a lot of big heights and success.
Thank you so much, man. Really means a lot. And what you've just said, I think that touched me as to why you do what you do, what's the purpose, and the people that you share it with, people who you can talk about it on camera, which is going to go live on the platform that you post content, and for people to actually take a deep dive into what you do. I think that's you connecting on a deeper level. So thank you so much, and hope to see you at the next fanball, and keep growing,
Yeah.
keep making amazing content, and keep inspiring people.
Thank you. Thank you so much.